This video will demonstrate how Swimlane's low-code security automation platform can assist with investigating, triaging, and responding to phishing email alerts. Here you can see an executive dashboard that gives a high-level view of what's going on, both with phishing alerts within our organization, but an overall indication of how we're doing with security. But let's dive into a phishing alert. Here, as an analyst, I can quickly get my bearings with our case management tool. We see we have a very nice case summary and a briefing of what the alert is, in this case, a phishing submission, the time it was received, and even who the affected mailbox was. And we can start seeing a summary of the automation and the information that's been gathered prior to us even logging in. We can see that there were 13 other emails observed within the email, 2 domains and 2 URLs. We can also see on the top left that the observables have been sent out for threat intel and enriched, and it's been determined that the email is in fact malicious, high severity, and is a true positive. We can see the process through the NIST framework of what's already been done for us. And as an analyst, I can start going through and get a better understanding of what this attack is so I can come up with an appropriate remediation steps. Here I can see an image of what the email is, what it looked like. We can see it doesn't seem like a very legitimate email. And as we scroll down, we can see the research that's already been done on behalf of this alert. And we'll dive into what the automation was that did all this. If we want to see what what some of this information is, we can quickly search on any of these items. For example, this one's malicious. When we can go see, well, what did threat intel look at this? Why was it determined malicious? Here we can see our virus total scores, our information from recorded future, etc. Again, as the analyst, just trying to get an understanding of what's going on with the case, and ultimately leading up to some type of remediation step. Again, this could be automated, or this could be steps an analyst would take after reviewing all the information that was gathered. And really, the remediation steps are endless. We could isolate host, we could send messages to a manager, we can launch further scans within our SIM tools, etc. And we can even connect this to external ticketing systems if we want, so that we could notify help desk or people that are using a different case management system. But let's look behind the scenes and look at the power and speed of creating an automation, a playbook that delivers that rich case management and that use case. So this is the playbook that happens behind the scenes. We can see that an email is being retrieved, and then we're collecting any attachments and extracting all the elements of the email out and extracting out the observables, and then sending it to a sub playbook to process all those observables. And that's one of the big benefits of Turbine, is that we can leverage playbooks and sub playbooks so that we can have a much more simplified workflow, that we don't have to have this long string of everything that's happening. We can break it into functionality. Another element of Turbine, which is very helpful in Swimlane in general, is our low-code platform. In this case, we're grabbing emails from our Google Workspace, but if we wanted to use something like Graph and Microsoft Graph API instead, we could just change our actions, and we already have the actions to get emails from Graph as well. So we can just configure to get emails from Graph instead, again adding that action without needing to know scripting or making specific API calls and all that hard work. Again, being very adaptive to customer environments. Now, another unique thing about Swimlane is that as we're proceeding through these steps, we're doing this very quickly and efficiently. In fact, we can handle a multitude of alerts and processes because we've broken out the playbook automation from the actual writing of the records to the database. So as the message is proceeding from getting a message to collecting all this information, grabbing the attachments, all of that's happening in memory. And then only at the end of the process are we mapping it to the output and mapping it to the actual database record. So that, again, becomes extremely powerful. Let's take a look at how we're enriching the observables as well. Again, an email has been retrieved. That's playbook of to send the observables out to be enriched. It lends us to this enriched observable playbook. Here we parse out the IOCs, and then we start sending it to the threat intel and threat enrichment technologies that we want to use. Again, we have leveraging that sub playbook again, that we have sub playbooks for sending it off to virus total to be enriched, recorded future, URL house. We could see that if the indicator is actually an email address, then we would send it off to IP quality score. And then at the end of all this is, again, this is all happening in memory and in real time, is that we're aggregating the verdict. So, in this example, we sent it off to potentially 4 different threat intelligence organizations, and we have to summarize. We have to look at all that information and make a decision of, is this malicious, suspicious, benign, and deliver that single verdict back to the user. So hopefully and then at the end of this entire process, again, we're mapping out the data to the record. So again, giving us the ability to handle numerous amounts of alerts per minute, large volume using Turbine, which is just one of the great benefits of using the Turbine and using low-code automation. So hopefully you'll recognize that there's a great value in using an automation tool such as Swimlane's Turbine to process phishing alerts, and that our unique technology with Turbine allows us to have some real differentiators as far as both being able to handle a large amount of alerts, but also to bring your specific technology quickly into the playbooks.